Welcome everyone, it's Glacier Guy, rocking the Glacier as always. How you guys doing? Hope you guys doing great. Guys, gals, whoever's ever watching the video. Either way, we're going to get into Depala, Pilot Exemplar, Dwarf Pilot. This is a Boros vehicle deck. Let's get into the deck tech. Let's look at our commander. Basically gives other dwarves +1/+1, so that's the Lord effect, pretty sweet. Also gives other vehicles +1/+1 as long as they are a creature, which is pretty sweet. Whenever you tap Depala, you may pay X. If you do reveal the top X cards of your library, put all dwarves vehicle cards from among them into your hand, the rest in the bottom of your library in random order. So, what are we trying to do? We're trying to get as many vehicles out and onto the battlefield as we can, and as many dwarves on the battlefield as we can. Kind of heavy. This deck kind of heavily favors white cards over red cards, but there still are, as you can sort of see in the background, still are quite a lot of red cards. Let's get into what is in the 99. Now, for lands, we pretty much just have a good standard Boros collage. You can't really go wrong with doing a little bit more plains than mountains. I do have Inventor's Fair in here and a couple other cards like Plateau. Just dual lands that I happen to have around because I play a lot of Commander Online. So yeah, I'm not going to really focus too much on the lands. I do have 36 lands in here. Seems to be pretty decent. I don't really have a lot of mana issues consistently. Every once in a while I'll have a game where I have a couple mana issues, but for the most part, whenever I play, I'm fine on mana. So let's not too worry about what kind of lands. If you want to budget it down and you want to play this in paper, you could just use just mountains and plains and whatever dual lands you can get a hold of that aren't too expensive. Don't worry about it too much. Same way, if you're trying to budget it, don't worry about Mana Crypts. Mana Crypts I've just put in like every deck, so it's not like key. It's not required in every deck. I just put it in every deck. Some decks it's not even that good in, but I just put it in every deck, and it actually is really good in this deck for the fact that there's a lot of colorless cards that cost quite a bit, and Mana Crypt can help out, which is why it is in the deck. But anyways, let us get into the rest of the cards that actually kind of matter. So again, Light and Tutor. Let's just go search for artifacts and enchantments. There are quite a lot of artifacts in this deck, and that's from vehicles to not vehicles. So I can use this to search up Planner Portal or something like that. So let's kind of get into the rest. There are a couple combos in here that are a little cheeky beaky in here. So we're going to keep on going through. Land tax. Land tax is pretty sweet, especially when our opponent is on the play for like first turn. They'll play a land, we play a land, and then we play land tax. They play a land for turn 2, then we go get 3 lands on our turn 2, which is pretty sweet. I definitely like playing land tax, and I try to put, ever since I got it, I try to put it in like almost every white deck I have, if it fits. We got our single target remove, we got our Path to Exile and Swords to Plowshare. I prefer Swords to Plowshare over Path, but sometimes you might need to path your own creature. I just don't like giving my opponents basic land unless it's like a creature that is just really oppressive and I'm just going to have to nuke it. Mostly their commander or something along those lines. But anyways, so we go on to Toolcraft Exemplar. Pretty sweet. So there are a lot of dwarves in the deck that don't really do anything vehicle-wise. They're just dwarves, and they help the dwarf tribal aspect, because that's, it's kind of, there's a sub thing with pulling dwarves with Depala. So some of the dwarves don't really make any sense from a vehicle standpoint, but there aren't that many vehicle-centric dwarves. So we're just going to keep going. But if you have one artifact, it gets +2/+1 in my combat phase, and if you have if I have 3 or more artifacts, it also gains first strike, which is pretty sweet. I wish it gave other things first strike. Oh, that doesn't. Oh, I just moved my mouse. Sorry about that. Well, it's a little sneak peeks. We got Vandal Blast in here to take care of my opponent's pesky artifacts, whether it's just one artifact or all of their artifacts. Normally, unless there's a really oppressive single artifact, I'll wait until I have 5 mana, and then I'll just nuke all their artifacts. And I've had a couple scoops from that, which is pretty interesting. Then we got our Soul Ring. I like the Soul Ring art. Online, you can get the non-foil versions of these, which is pretty sweet. So that's kind of the ones I go for. Oh, that's what. Oh, never mind. Well, I'll rant about something later. But yeah, this is the non-foil of this art, so it's like $1 or $2. It was like nothing. It was really cheap. We got Aethermine Gorger, pretty much just a dwarf. It's a 3/1 dwarf, which is really good for crewing vehicles. So I'm not really too worried about her actual ability, just the fact that she's a dwarf and she's a 3/1, and she's for 2 mana. So we got an Aven Mechanic, same thing. It's just a dwarf that's a 2/2 that we could use a tap, so nothing super special. Gearshift Ace though gives any vehicle he crews first strike, which is really decent, really sweet. Restoration Specialist allows me to go get artifacts and enchantments for my graveyard to hand if I sacrifice it, so pretty useful. Saran, Senior Edificer. I actually have played against a couple of Saran decks where Saran's the commander, and it's pretty impressive. I might actually want to make a like an Equipment Matters deck with Saran at some point. That'd be pretty sweet, but let's keep going. Yeah, so whenever you cast an aura, equipment, or vehicle spell, draw a card, and there are quite a few equipment. Well, there's more, not so much equipment. There's quite a few vehicle cards in this deck, so a couple of equipments, but I think one or two equipments, and the rest are vehicles. Let's keep going. Dwarven Blast Miner. So this is pretty. So I realized there's like a weird land hate sub theme, like non-basic land hate something in this deck. I kind of like to morph him in just to confuse my opponent, but or I'll just play him for 2, and I can destroy target non-basic lands all day long. Apologies, I just woke up, so I'm I just got up, so I'm still a little sleepy. Anyways, keep going. Dwarven Miner kind of does the same thing, destroys target non-basic land. Sometimes I will do this really quickly, and my opponents just scoop because they're like, land destruction, I hate you, and I'm like, we're going to try not to land destruction on turn 2 or 3 like I was doing a couple days ago. But hey, if you got non-basic lands and I've got mana, I might just nuke your lands. Hey, you know, it happens, I'm sorry. Veteran Motorist. Veteran Motorist is pretty sweet. Scry to an enters battlefield. Whenever it crews a vehicle gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Tends to be able to crew a lot of vehicles by itself because it's got 3 power, but sometimes it needs a little bit of help from its friends. Boros Signet, you know, getting that, trying to get us ramping up a little quicker. Then we got Lightning Greaves. No need to explain. Metallic Mimic, make itself a dwarf, gives other dwarves +1/+1 counters. Pretty sweet. Smuggler's Copter, when it attacks or blocks, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. And it's crew 1. It's 3/3 flyer, so it's pretty gross. Thought Vessel, no maximum hand size. And taps for mana. Throne of the God Pharaoh, secret win tech right here. You do a lot of tapping of your creatures, and so you can just do incidental damage at the end of each turn. It's pretty sweet. Then we get Fairgrounds Warden. Fairgrounds exiles an opponent. It's basically like an Oblivion Ring on a creature, so it's pretty awesome. Master Tinkerer gives all servos and top tiers +1/+1. Plus, I can create servos, which helps me if I need to, like if I'm in a pinch and I need to crew with a servo, I'll crew with the servo, not a problem. Oblivion Ring is basically Oblivion Ring as an enchantment and not on a creature. I mean, you all know what this is. I like the art too. This is pretty sweet art. Teferi's Protection is part of the Wombo combo, and I'll get into well, I don't think the Wombo combo is the word I would use, but it's part of the combo. It's also just incidentally good. If I just like don't want to die right away, it's pretty sweet. I don't know what art that is. There's like so many things going on in the background, and I don't know what he's phasing out. I don't know if he's phasing out. What are those planes? I don't know. Someone explain to me what those are in the background. Ale Responder, it's another dwarfs, flying lifelink. It's pretty sweet. We get Solemn Recruit, double strike Volt at the beginning of your end step. If permanent you control left battlefield this turn, put a 1/1 counter in Solemn Recruit. I've gotten Solemn Recruit's ability to trigger a couple times, so that's kind of where the Aether Gorge Miner and the other ones where they can flicker out. They kind of help Revolt, but it's not super focused on Revolt. It just happens to be a Dwarf Warrior for Revolt, so it's not too bad. Dwarven Recruiter, when it enters the battlefield, search the library for any number of dwarf cards and reveal those cards, shuffle your library, and then put them on top. So this is good for late game. Not that great for like early game if I don't have a lot of mana. Tauren Mauler is a dwarf and a Tauren, and he's just really good in any deck that needs tribals and has red. So I always put him in there. Dwarven Blood Broiler, tap and untap dwarf control. Target creature gets +2/+1 until end of turn. So you crew your vehicles, and then you use this card, including itself, to make your vehicles +2/+0. It's pretty sweet. Dryer Hedge Mage. When you're at this battlefield, if you control 2 or more mountains, destroy target artifact. If you control 2 or more planes, destroy target enchantment. If you control 4 of each, or whatever, or a combination of dual lands that say both plains and mountains, just do both. It's pretty sweet. And it's a Dwarf Shaman. It's not too bad. Renegade Wheelsmith, when it becomes tapped, target creature can't block this turn. That's been a very spicy deck tech right there. A surprising number of opponents with really terrifying board states have just fallen to this. Adaptive Automaton, basically it's a fill-in for a dwarf. Cultivator's Caravan, pretty sweet. So you can drop it down, crew it for 3, and make it a 5/5. But you can also, because it's an artifact, tap it for 1 mana of any color the turn you play it, which is pretty sweet. Peace Walker Colossus is amazing because it can make other vehicles become artifact creatures without crewing them. So I love playing Peace Walker Colossus, whether crewing it for 4 or making another vehicle not need a creature. So I'll crew this vehicle. Like, I'll tap my cards, crew this, pay 2, and then make another vehicle. It's nice. I like it. Sluice Schooner. It's just a 4/3, but it's only got crew 1, which is amazing, by the way. If I basically make a Thopter or whatever, just crew for 1. Not too bad. Return to Dust, because you always need Return to Dust. Visionary Augmenters, Fabricate 2. Fabricate 2 is just pretty sweet. I can make some servos, or I can get +2, +2, or 2+1/+1 counters. Wrath of God for whenever I need to clear the board. Chandra, Torch of Defiance. Yes, I bought Chandra for, I think, a different deck. And I just ended up putting this deck because Chandra, this is an amazing card. No need to explain it. Ironis, because I want my creatures to have menace and I don't want them to ever take damage when they attack. Conqueror's Galleon. It's a 2/10. It's a vehicle. It flips. It has a lot of cool synergies after it flips into the Conqueror's Foothold, so it's all around good. Include Cartwheel Cruiser, really nice. So when it enters the battlefield, it's a creature when it enters. So turn 1, or when you drop it, it's got haste and trample, and you don't have to crew it the first turn it comes out. It's pretty nice. Jorah's Familiar to help make all these historic spells a little cheaper to cast. Solemn Sacralum, because, you know, he's a sad robot. Thran Dynamo to help us get out our cards a little quicker. Weatherlight to help look for those cards a lot faster. Cathar's Crusade. It's just Cathar's Crusade. It's just pretty good all around, and there's a lot of creatures in the deck, so really helps out getting those +1/+1 counters, helping us crew those vehicles quicker. Apocalypse. So this is part of the it's the Teferi's Protection Apocalypse combo, where you tap 8 mana, you play Teferi's Protection. No, you tap 8 mana, you play Apocalypse, and then while it's on the stack, you play, before it resolves, you play Teferi's Protection to phase all your stuff out, and then it destroys all of your opponent's stuff. This is more for a, what do you call that? There's another card combo for this that I'll get into it a little bit. But Apocalypse has there's 2 combos for Apocalypse. And one of them is just basically wiping all your opponent's stuff while Teferi Protection your stuff. The other way to do it, I'll get into in a little bit. You might see the card if you're looking further on. So you got Assemble Legion, because Assemble Legion is great in all Boros decks. Jor Kadeen, the Prevailer, First Strike Metalcraft. Creatures you control get +3/+0 as long as you control 3 or more artifacts, which is really great. Dust Legion Dreadnought, Vigilance, it's 4/3 crew 2, nothing bad there. Mind's Eye helps get that card draw that's so needed in the Boros deck. Because, I mean, Depala gives us lots of card draw, but Depala only goes for vehicles and dwarves, and sometimes we don't want only vehicles and dwarves. Skystarving Console Flagship is just amazing. Whenever it enters battlefield or attacks, deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls, which is just, like, why would I not want to add this? And it's a 6/5 with a flying. It's gross. Austere Command helps us keep our boards nice and clear. Then we got Baron's Glory. So the thing with Baron's Glory is what you want to do with Baron's Glory, and this is a bit tricky. You want to play Baron's Glory, and then you want to, I believe it's Oblivion Ring. Yes, you want to play Baron's Glory, and then you want to Oblivion Ring your own Baron's Glory. And then you're like, wait, what? And then you cast Apocalypse. So basically, at any point in time, you play Baron's Glory out. Just play it out whenever you can, and then you get your Oblivion Ring with one of your whatever you're trying to do. Maybe Planar Portal is the reason why it's in the deck. So you play Baron's Glory, and then you grab Oblivion Ring, you play Oblivion Green on your own Baron's Glory, and then you Apocalypse your own board. Because Baron's Glory only works at the beginning of your upkeep if you control no permanents other than Baron's Glory and no cards in your hand, you win the game. So because Apocalypse makes you discard your whole hand, so it's a very convoluted win con, but it's there and it's glorious, and I haven't used it yet. And the moment I use it, I am going to giggle like a small child. It is going to be hilarious. Then we got Sun Titan, because everyone likes our good old friend Sun Titan. Sunbird's Invocation to help us kind of peel through our deck a little bit faster. And Aurora War Leader, because who doesn't want additional combat phases? I always want additional combat phases. Now, the thing I wonder is, so whenever it attacks for the first time each turn, untap all creatures you control. After this phase, there's additional combat phase. So does that? I haven't used it yet, but if I'm understanding correctly, that untaps all my creatures, even if they're crewing a vehicle. Maybe not. I'm not sure yet. It says untap all creatures. Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out how Mitko plays with it if I haven't played it yet, so I'm not sure. Demolition Stomper, it's pretty cool. Can't be blocked for creatures with power 2 or less. Crew 5, not too bad. Planar Portal to help us go get those crazy combos. Oh, so that's what those flying things are. Okay, so it's like Phyrexian stuff, I guess. It looks like Phyrexian portal bird things. I was trying to figure out what's in the Teferi's protection. Anyways, this video is way too long. And then we got Avacyn, Angel of Hope, because, you know, Avacyn, Angel of Hope. We always got to get the angel in the mix. So that has been the deck tech. Apologies for the long video, but it's kind of a vehicle decks. You got to explain them a little bit more. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just talking for the sake of talking. Anyways, let's get into the actual gameplay and see y'all around. Hope you guys have a great day, and let's get into the games. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. End the video already, please.